ML Sports Take brought to you by Jam and Beats and Rosie's Corner. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel. One big thing that's missing for the Buffalo Sabres is someone who's been there and done that before. Repeated Stanley Cup runs, raised the Stanley Cup, leadership, culture, and you get the production. I've heard a lot of bullshit lately about, well, Zemgus Girgensons and Kyle Okposo weren't on the roster down the stretch and that leadership. Okay, to a degree, but those guys didn't produce at all. You need to check boxes in multiple spots. You need leadership / production. You need to have guys who fit your room, right? And the Sabres just don't have a guy in that locker room who knows how to do it repeatedly. Bo Byram's won a Stanley Cup, but he's super, super young. He's had a couple of runs in his young age, but not over and over, not 6, 7, 8 runs. He's not a leader in the locker room. You can tell me all you want about leadership, but if you don't produce, does it really matter? The leadership and the production kind of go hand in hand. Think Steve Yzerman, think Mark Messier, think leaders, think Sidney Crosby, right? You want that leadership, sure, but if you never produce or you inconsistently produce, does leadership really matter that much? I feel like it gets overblown a little bit. But when you talk about leadership / production, you talk about fit, right? I mean, my God, the Sabres are really lacking something there, and I think Steven Stamkos would be a perfect addition for them. I know it might cost them a big number, but why not bring in a Steven Stamkos? He hits free agency. He's been there, done that. He's worn the C. He's been the face of the Lightning. He's had a million Stanley Cup runs. He's raised the Stanley Cup multiple times. He's a guy who knows how to get it done. The leadership, setting the tone, the culture. I don't know. To me, the Sabres lack this. You can tell me about Alex Tuch. He's a nice player, but is he really a leader? Rasmus Dahlin's a young, unbelievable talent, but is he really a leader? Some of these guys, they either produce, but they can't lead. Some of these guys can quasi-lead, but they don't produce consistently. Steven Stamkos does all of that consistently. The guy's going to score 40 goals this year. He's won multiple Stanley Cups. He's been a face of the franchise. He sets the tone. His work ethic is through the roof. He's well-respected around the league. To me, the Sabres have a lot of boxes that are unchecked, or one is checked, or a couple are checked, but then you uncheck them. There's just too much inconsistency there. And as far as what they need to get to the next level, I think it's this. You look at this team this year, they were soft. Tage Thompson's talking about, the effect of getting booed. Players are talking about a lot of things, outside noise as well with Tage Thompson. These guys talk about, how the booing gets to them. Alex Tuch went on multiple podcasts and talked about that. Listen, if you're getting that affected by getting booed and getting shit from the fans for missing the playoffs for 13 years and being the latest group to miss the playoffs, you're really soft. They need toughness, leadership, production, fit in the room, all the boxes to check. And when I look at Steven Stamkos with Tampa, even if it's going to cost you a big number, even with, some recent history with injuries, which it looks like we're far removed enough from that, I think the Sabres need to get a guy like this. And look, they got about 22 or so million in cap space for next year. I would go get Steven Stamkos. Sign him to a 2-year deal. If the Sabres are ready to win like we thought before this year, you got Devin Levi and UPL in goal. You've got all these young players. Skinner will be back as a veteran. You got all these big-time players, young players, Paterka, Krebs, Cousins, Tuch, Thompson. The defensive line is built right there for you. Matthias Samuelson's coming back. Owen Power, Yoki-Haru, Dahlin, Bo Byram. You've got all of this stuff. It just didn't work. I don't know who's going to coach the team, but a lot of it is the inconsistency. They just didn't start well in the first period. They're a soft hockey team. They lack leadership, and when they have a little bit of that leadership, those guys don't produce. They got to have a guy who can check all the boxes. Production, leadership, fit in the room, setting the tone. That guy is Steven Stamkos. No doubt. Mike Lindsley with you here. It's an ML Sports Take brought to you by our great friends at Ken's Auto Detailing, Barks and Rec Doggy Daycare, Stumbling Monkey Brewing Company, and our great friends at Cicero Golf Shop, Route 11 in Cicero. If you're in and around Central New York, go pick up the best in golf. Tailor-made, ping, you name it. They have equipment, balls and tees and more, and you can work on your game at the driving range and their instruction as well. Kenny and Chuck doing a great job at Cicero Golf Shop, Route 11 in Cicero. Stop by and improve your game on the course right now. As I always tell you, enjoy the games.